You've been using YouTube for years. You watch videos, you search for things, you scroll through recommendations, and every single time you think, okay, it's just a video platform, it's just entertainment. What's the worst it could do? I'm going to show you exactly what it's doing. And it starts with a button, one button, sitting quietly inside your YouTube account right now that you have never tapped, never noticed, and almost certainly never turned off. And that button, that one single setting, has been logging everything. Not just what you've watched, not just what you've searched. Everything. Your behavior, your psychology, your beliefs, your fears, your health, your politics, your most private late-night searches that you thought disappeared the moment you closed the app. None of it disappeared. All of it is sitting in a database right now, attached to your name, your email address, and your Google account, being fed into one of the most sophisticated behavioral profiling systems ever built. And before you lean back and say, okay, but I have nothing to hide, I want you to hold that thought. Because this isn't just about embarrassing searches or guilty pleasure videos. This is about a system that knows things about you that you don't consciously know about yourself. And it is selling access to that knowledge to the highest bidder every single day without your meaningful consent. So stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through is real, it's documented, and it's fixable in about 5 minutes. Let's go. First, let's talk about what YouTube actually is, because most people think of it as a free video platform, and that framing is exactly what Google wants you to believe. YouTube is not a video platform with an ad business on the side. YouTube is a data harvesting operation with a video platform on the front. The videos are the bait, the data is the product. And you, your attention, your behavior, your psychological profile, are what's being sold. Here's the scale of what we're talking about. YouTube doesn't just measure what you watch, it measures when you watch, where you are when you watch it, what time of day, how long you watch before you skip, whether you pause and rewind, and which exact moment you rewound to, whether you watched something to the end or abandoned it, what you searched for that led you to the video, what you searched for immediately after, how your viewing patterns shift on weekdays versus weekends, how they shift when you're stressed versus when you're relaxed, how they change season by season, year by year. And all of that data, every microbehavior, every fractional signal, gets combined with everything else Google knows about you from Gmail, from Google Maps, from Google Search, from Google Drive, from your Android phone, from Chrome. It's not one profile, it's hundreds of interconnected profiles that together form a picture of who you are that is more complete and more accurate than anything your closest friends or your own family could describe. That's not an exaggeration. That is the documented, openly acknowledged business model of the company that owns YouTube. Now here's the thing that most people don't know. This is the part that genuinely changes how you see everything. There are actually 2 separate layers of YouTube tracking happening simultaneously, and almost everyone only knows about one of them. And that's exactly the problem. The layer everyone knows about is your watch history inside the YouTube app. You've probably seen it. You can go into your YouTube settings, tap History and Privacy, and see your recent watch history sitting there. Most people, when they want a clean slate, go in and hit Clear Watch History. They feel like they've done something. They feel like the record is gone. But here's what they don't know, and what Google does not make obvious. Clearing your watch history inside the YouTube app is a cosmetic action. It is not a privacy control. It removes the visual list from your screen. That's it. The underlying data, every video you've ever watched, every search you've ever made, every behavioral signal ever collected, remains fully intact inside Google's servers. According to documented analysis of Google's own data architecture, cleared history remains accessible to Google's internal teams for model training and product analytics for up to 18 months after you delete it, unless you turn off the data collection at the source. Deleting what you see on your screen does not delete what Google has stored. And most people have been clearing their history for years, thinking they were protecting their privacy, while in reality they were doing absolutely nothing. The second layer, the one almost nobody knows about, is a completely separate part of your Google account called YouTube History, accessible through a section called Manage All Activity. This is not inside the YouTube app. This is not in your YouTube settings. It lives deep inside your Google account at a web address most people have never visited. And it contains a log of every single action you have ever taken on YouTube while signed into your Google account, including, according to researchers who have analyzed this system, data that never even appeared in your YouTube app's own history. It tracks every search query you've typed on YouTube, every video you've clicked on, even ones you watched for only a few seconds before leaving. Every like, every dislike, every comment, every share, the exact watch time, your skipping behavior, and every replay. All of it, time-stamped, stored, connected to your account. And here's the kicker. This layer keeps logging even when you've turned on YouTube incognito mode. Because incognito mode only stops local session recording. The tracking that happens at the account level, the deep Google account surveillance layer, continues running regardless. Most people don't know that. And the reason most people don't know that is because Google doesn't advertise it. Now let's talk about what happens with all of this data. Because you might be thinking, okay, they collect it, they show me better ads, whatever. But the reality of what this data enables goes much further than targeted ads, and it's worth understanding the full picture. Your YouTube watch history, when analyzed at scale over time across your entire viewing life, can reveal your approximate income level. It can reveal your relationship status, your educational background, your mental health patterns, whether you're going through a difficult period in your life, whether you have health concerns you've been researching, your religious beliefs, your political leanings, your anxieties, your insecurities, your aspirations. None of that requires YouTube to ask you a single question. It's all inferred from the patterns of what you watch, when you watch it, how long you stay, and what you do next. This is documented. Researchers and privacy advocates, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation, have specifically flagged YouTube's watch history data as being capable of revealing deeply sensitive personal information, health conditions, political affiliations, personal beliefs, from aggregated viewing patterns alone. A 2024 Federal Trade Commission staff report described platforms like YouTube as conducting what it called vast surveillance through data collection practices, noting that behavioral and viewing data can enable inference of sensitive attributes that users never intentionally disclosed, and advertisers have direct access to this profile, not to your name or raw data, but to the behavioral categories and interest segments that Google has built from it. An advertiser doesn't need to know your name to reach you with surgical precision. They just need to know you're in Google's health-anxious 30-somethings who watch a lot of late-night finance content category. And Google's ad auction sells access to that targeting capability billions of times per day. That is the business. That is what your data funds. And that is what you are going to stop right now. So let's get into it. Here is the exact button, actually the exact settings path that you need to find, and here is precisely what to do. Start by opening your Google account. You can do this on your phone or your computer. Go to My Account, Google.com. Or if you're on your phone, open any Google app, tap your profile picture in the top right, and tap Manage your Google account. Once you're inside your Google account dashboard, you're going to tap on the tab that says Data and Privacy. This is the control center for everything Google collects about you, and it is buried here intentionally, not in the YouTube app, not in your YouTube settings, but in a separate part of your account that requires specific navigation to find. Once you're in Data and Privacy, scroll down until you see a section called History Settings. Inside History Settings, you'll find two entries. The first is Web and App Activity. The second is YouTube History. These are the two master switches. And right now, unless you have already manually turned them off, both of them are on. They have been on since the day you created your Google account. Tap on YouTube History first. You'll land on a page that tells you whether YouTube History is currently enabled. It will say YouTube History is on. Beneath that, there will be a toggle or a button to turn it off. Tap it. A prompt will come up asking whether you want to pause YouTube History. Tap Pause. This is the switch. This is what stops Google from recording every future YouTube action you take. Once this is off, your watch behavior, your search queries, your clicks and interactions, none of them will be logged going forward. But you're not done yet. Because turning off future collection does nothing about the years of data that has already been collected. The data is still sitting there. To get rid of it, look for the option on the same page that says Delete or Manage Activity. Tap it. You'll have the option to delete all activity from a specific time range or to delete all time. Select All Time. Confirm. That archive, potentially years of your viewing behavior, is now queued for deletion from Google's systems. Now go back to History Settings and tap Web and App Activity. This is the master upstream pipe. This setting controls whether Google logs your activity across all of its products, including YouTube, at the account level. Even with YouTube History turned off, Web and App Activity can continue to collect certain signals from your YouTube sessions if it's still enabled. Turn it off. Same process. Tap the toggle, confirm that you want to pause it, and then go into the activity log and delete all historical data. Select All Time, confirm again. You have now cut off both layers of YouTube's tracking at the source, not just what you see in the app, the actual underlying data collection. Now let's talk about the third thing you need to do, which almost nobody includes in these conversations, and which is just as important as turning off history: advertising personalization. Even with YouTube History and Web and App Activity paused, Google maintains a separate advertising profile for your account. This profile was built from all the data collected before you turned off history, and it continues to be updated through other signals. Things like your device type, your general location, the time of day you use apps, and other contextual signals that don't require watch history to function. This advertising profile is what determines which ad categories you're placed in, what interests Google thinks you have, and what kind of targeted content gets served to you across all Google products. To see and control this profile, go back to your Google account, stay in Data and Privacy, and scroll down to find the section called Ad Settings or My Ad Center. When you open it, you're going to see something genuinely remarkable. A list of topics and interest categories that Google has assigned to you. Things like your estimated age range, topics you supposedly care about, categories of products and services Google thinks you're likely to buy. This is the face of the profile. Look at it, see what they've built about you, and then start turning things off. There's a toggle at the top for personalized ads. Turn it off. When you do, Google will still show you ads. You'll still see ads on YouTube, but those ads will no longer be powered by your behavioral surveillance profile. They'll be generic, contextual ads based on what video you're currently watching, not a years-long dossier on your psychology. While you're in this section, also scroll through the specific interest categories they've listed for you and remove the ones that feel wrong, the ones that feel too personal, or simply all of them. You can hit the three-dot menu on each category and remove it from your profile. It takes a few minutes, but it's worth doing because it directly dismantles the granular targeting infrastructure that's been built around your identity. Now there's one more thing I want to walk you through that connects to everything we've discussed, and it's the thing that will surprise you the most. You may have, at some point, used YouTube incognito mode, either on the app or in a private browser window, thinking that you were watching privately, and you were, to a degree. YouTube incognito mode on the app does prevent your session from being saved to your local watch history. It keeps what you watch during that session from appearing in your recommendations or your history view. That part is real, and that part works as described. But here is what incognito mode does not do. It does not prevent Google from collecting account-level behavioral data if you're logged in. The moment you're signed into your Google account, even in incognito mode, even in a private browser window, certain tracking signals continue to flow through your session and connect to your account identity. The session-level browsing data may not be saved in your history view, but the account-level behavioral signals don't stop because you opened a private tab. This isn't a theory. Google actually settled a $5 billion class action lawsuit in 2023 that was built on exactly this allegation. That Google continued to track users through its advertising technologies and other mechanisms, even when those users were explicitly using incognito mode and private browsing under the belief that their activity would not be recorded. $5 billion. Because users thought they had privacy they didn't actually have. So incognito mode is a useful tool for keeping your local device history clean. It is not a substitute for turning off the account level tracking controls we just walked through. Both serve different purposes. You need both. Let's also spend a moment on something that doesn't get nearly enough attention, your subscriptions. When you subscribe to a YouTube channel, that subscription list is visible by default, not just to YouTube and Google, but potentially to other people who visit your channel profile. Your subscription list is a map of your interests, your influences, your communities, and in some cases, your private beliefs. The channel someone subscribes to can reveal their political orientation, their religious views, their health concerns, their relationship status, and their consumption habits more accurately than almost any other piece of public information. And by default, anyone who visits your YouTube channel page can see every channel you've subscribed to. To fix this, go into the YouTube app or YouTube on your browser, tap your profile picture, go to your channel, then tap the Edit or Settings option for your channel. Look for the section that controls subscription visibility. There will be an option called Keep My Subscriptions Private. Turn it on. Your subscription list is now hidden from public view. It's a simple toggle. It takes 5 seconds. And it removes one of the most revealing pieces of personal information from public access on your account. Now let me tell you about something that Google offers as a kind of middle ground, a feature called Auto Delete. For people who want to keep some level of YouTube personalization, but don't want their data stored indefinitely, Auto Delete lets you set a rolling window, either 3 months or 18 months, after which older activity is automatically removed. So instead of your data accumulating forever, it gets trimmed on a schedule. You can find this option inside the same YouTube history settings we visited earlier. If you want to keep recommendations working reasonably well, but don't want a permanent archive of your behavior, setting Auto Delete to 3 months is a reasonable middle ground. But be clear about what this is. It's still collecting data continuously. It's just not keeping it forever. If you want maximum privacy, the only real answer is to keep YouTube history paused entirely, not just set it to auto-delete. Let's also quickly cover something practical that a lot of people wonder about. What actually breaks when you turn all of this off? The honest answer is, your recommendations change. YouTube's recommendation algorithm is powered by your watch history. When that history is off, YouTube's algorithm loses its most important input signal. Your homepage will stop showing you precisely tailored videos based on your viewing patterns. You'll start seeing more generic popular content, trending videos, and content from channels you've explicitly subscribed to. For some people, that feels like a loss. For others, and I'd argue for most people once they experience it, it actually feels liberating. You stop being trapped in an algorithmic feedback loop that keeps you watching the same categories of content indefinitely. You start discovering things you never would have found. And you regain conscious control over what you watch instead of letting a behavioral prediction engine choose your next video for you. The search function still works perfectly. Your subscriptions still work perfectly. You can still watch any video on the platform. You just won't have a machine that's been profiling your psychology for years, quietly deciding what you see next. Most people, after a week of using YouTube with history off, never turn it back on. Here's the summary of everything you need to do. Go to My Account, Google, Com, tap Data and Privacy. Go to History Settings, turn off YouTube history. Delete all existing YouTube activity, select All Time. Turn off Web and App activity, delete all existing activity there too, select All Time. Go to Ad Settings, turn off personalized ads. Remove the interest categories listed in your ad profile. Go back into YouTube, find your channel settings, and set your subscriptions to private. And going forward, use YouTube incognito mode for any session you want kept off your local device, while understanding that it's a complement to turning off account level tracking, not a substitute for it. That's it. That is the complete picture. And those steps, which take less than 10 minutes in total, dismantle a surveillance infrastructure that has been quietly running on your account, potentially for years. One last thing I want to say before we finish, because I think it's important to be honest about what all of this means at a bigger level. Google is not a villain in a movie. It's a company that built a platform that hundreds of millions of people genuinely love, and it funded that platform through a data economy that grew faster than anyone's ability to regulate or even fully understand it. The engineers who built YouTube's recommendation system were, in many cases, genuinely trying to help you find videos you'd enjoy. The data collection wasn't designed to harm you. It was designed to make the product better and the ads more valuable, but the outcome, a permanent, detailed behavioral record of your most private intellectual and emotional life, used to predict and influence your behavior for commercial purposes, stored indefinitely without most users meaningfully understanding what was happening. That outcome deserves to be questioned. You deserve to know what's being collected. You deserve to understand how it's being used. And you deserve the ability to turn it off without needing to watch a video like this to find the settings. The fact that these controls are buried in a separate account dashboard, rather than prominently featured in the YouTube app, itself tells you something. If Google truly believed its users were fully informed and genuinely consenting to this collection, the off switches would be front and center. They're not. And that gap between where the controls are and where users naturally look is not accidental, so now you know where to look. Now you know what to turn off. And now you understand exactly what has been happening every single time you opened YouTube and watched a video you thought was just between you and the screen. Go fix it, right now, before you watch another video. Before the algorithm serves you, the next thing it thinks will keep you engaged for another 30 minutes. Take the 10 minutes, go through those settings, and take back control of your own data. If this video changed how you see YouTube and Google, share it with the people in your life who need to hear it, because the vast majority of YouTube users have no idea any of this is happening. And the more people who know, the harder it is for this kind of invisible data collection to continue without accountability. I'll see you in the next one.